The following is a highlight from one of our great episodes. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe.
Okay, well, there are many reasons why I decided to write this book. Uh, it is a book for interpreters and translators, but in fact, the reason I wrote it is a bit broader. This was maybe November of last year. I noticed that my graphic designer was telling me she didn't have as much work these days because of AI. My programmer friend was telling me he was moving into a new job position because like he knew his position would be obsolete in like 3 years max. And just like almost everyone I talked to was like, yeah, my profession is being shuffled around with AI, or I'm thinking about leaving my profession. And of course, in translation interpreting, we saw this with the Microsoft top 40 so-called replaceable jobs. A translation interpreting is actually number one on that list. So I wrote the book. Yeah, it's topping the list, and I wrote the book because I
We're
thought,
on top of the list.
we are on top of the list currently as of today in early August 2025. And yeah, so I wrote the book because all of us are affected by this in the knowledge professions, and yet I jumped on Amazon. I couldn't find a single book on like how to respond to this massive change. Right? I thought there's got to be something there, but this was in November of last year, and there was nothing there on the subject. So I thought, well, if there's nothing up there, I'll write the darn book myself. And that's the backstory. That's it.
That's awesome. And since then, it's been a number one bestseller on Amazon in specific categories, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to say it
Or
actually topped the
overall.
charts on 5 different book categories on Amazon. So really exceeded all expectations. And so I think it resonated with a lot of people in interpreting and translating, but also in other fields as well, because we feel so alone sometimes. We feel so isolated, but we're not. There are so many other people in adjacent professions and even non-adjacent professions that are really significantly being impacted by AI. So I think the book ended up sort of hitting home for a lot of people that are wondering, where do we go from here?
And how many interviews have you been doing? Because I'm assuming you're quite popular these days.
I don't know about popular, but I am doing interviews.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. The day after I published the book, the BBC reached out to me and they said, hey, we want someone to come talk on the radio early tomorrow morning in the UK. And I'm like, the UK, like, what time is that for me? Close to Montreal. It was like 3 a.m. And they're like, oh, so you're probably not interested. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. 3 a.m. Let's go. I'm drinking coffee. So I spoke on the BBC. I've gone in a few different places. I've spoken for OTAC, which is Quebec's, actually Canada's largest language association. So I did a talk for them and a few others, and a podcast for coaches as well with Jay Allison. And I've got some others already in the books. So yeah, I'm trying to get the message out there that this is not the end.
Now, I saw in one of your posts that I think it was the BBC. They're asking you, like, Joe, are you being naive?
Yeah.
I know that you gave a good answer, but like, do you like now that you've had time to think about it, would you have given a different answer, or like, would you like to?
Well, can you first repeat what the first answer was? Because I'm not
Yeah.
aware of that.
Oh, okay, go.
Sure,
Sorry.
sure. Yeah, well, basically, I told them, we're not being replaced because you need human judgment to do things like provide a quality text that's going to achieve its intended purpose, or to interpret a conference properly and avoid a lawsuit or serious problems down the road. And they said, are you being naive, Joe? Because after all, we know AI is getting better and better and better. And everyone's seeing this practically in real time, where like, if you don't use ChatGPT for a couple months, you jump back on and you do the same prompt and the output is better, right?